It really was hard. It's so absurd and everything. And now that, and like, even still, it still is hard, I still have memories of that, of all this, like, even to this day. And, like, tonight, actually, like, earlier tonight, it was like, everyone, when we were sharing scripture, it was like a full on series of scriptures. We kept sharing scriptures back and forth. Well, I mean, I only shared one, like Joshua 9, then, like, Dad and Sarah Rachel and I, they kind of were sharing scriptures back and forth and everything. Mom was just, well, sick. She still is sick currently, sadly. But we're praying for her to get better and that, and she was just sharing random scriptures. But Dad was, like, sharing scriptures about, like, you know, rebellious children that are being, and then the Sarah, Rachel, and they're kind of sharing scriptures, like, to not exasperate your children, like, you know, scriptures about how parents should be, it was kind of funny, but then it was kind of like a little tense, too intense, and then like some of them shared like scriptures like about the whole that one verse about like remove the speck. Do you not notice the plaque in your own eye? Yet you want to take the speck out of your brother's eye. Hypocrite, take the plaque out of your own eye before you take the speck out of your brother's eye. Like Sarah shared that verse. And it just seemed kind of weird how she brought that one like out of the blue. It's like now I haven't said anything about, Sarah or whatever that in a while or anything like that, and it's like there's nothing happening between us siblings anymore. And it's like I mean, if you're trying to do that to me, um well, I actually don't have a metaphorical plaque in my own eye. I already walk by example, and therefore I am not a hypocrite. And then there's one verse that Sarah also shared, like, don't be over religious or something like that, or over righteous. And I'm thinking, like, I've never heard that verse before. I forget where it was found, but, like, and then it was like, I don't think, like, is that even a verse? Or, I don't know. Now that I think about it, I'm not sure. Sometimes they were, like, kind of just pretending to make up their own scriptures, but then just for joking around, and then, but then, like, Rachel was, like, trying to make up her own scripture jokingly, but it was in a mocking tone. It's like, well, living in life and uh getting out of the house and not being at home all day. I was like, and she was like, and it's like, um, if that was pointed at me, first of all, today, I'm not a bum that sits at home all day. Even when I'm have day offs, I literally like went to Pap's house like today, like in the morning, on February 15th, like I literally was like back and forth on February 15th, like going back to Pap's house, like walking down back and forth, cleaning their driveway, snow shoveling, and then getting the newspapers for dad, getting the papers for dad, important papers for dad, like, and then like getting green beans, for everyone that was a part of our dinner. So, and also, in terms of living life, I already am living life. Everyone's living life. I mean, doing college, chores, working out, so forth, you know. And I think Rachel was saying about the whole living life thing. Like, she was trying to say, like, accepted how she was talking crude again, crude joking, like, a lot of crude joking, like, bathroom jokes specifically, like the POOP word, and saying it a lot. And then, like, all three sisters are like that, especially Rachel, though. She really does it. And I'm like, you know, it's just like, uh, it's like, it's so crude, and it is sin, actually. Well, it's not cussing, yeah, but it's still crude. Even if it's quote unquote not cussing, it still is sin because it still is crude and obscene joking, which is prohibited by Ephesians 4:29. So therefore, crudely joking like that, and especially doing it like a lot like that, so immaturely, that is definitely sin by biblical definition. So, and I don't like that, because it's gross. I mean, can respect that, It's like decency, morals, that's reality, not being appropriate and pure in tongue like I am, I mean, that's reality. it's a real, it's real, it's a real moral ethic. So it's reality. I'm not just making this up out of the top of my head. No, it's just being a biblical example. Now, I'm not overly righteous. I'm not a obsessive Christian. That's not true, It's just that we live in a excessively vulgar society. I've come in terms to realize that I'm not obsessively Christian. I'm not. I'm not overly righteous or obsessively Christian. It's just that in our society today, we live in a really vulgar society. I'm not obsessively Christian. It's just that a lot of the environment we're in is just obsessively vulgar. Some places more vulgar than others. So, yeah. And same way with the sex word, the word sex or the word sexual. Like, don't ever say that. I'm sorry. Just don't ever say that. It's even when it's calling someone out, it's like, no, you're still vulgar. So, but then you're blaming. But then you'll be acting like that person who's calling them out's the problem. I mean, like, no, that's, you completely miss the whole point. It's in terms of calling someone out for wrongdoings. You gotta be decent in yourself. You shouldn't, even when you call someone else out for their wrongdoings, you don't be vulgar like that person, because otherwise, if you are vulgar like that person, you're no better than that person. You're so be holy when you call someone out for their wrongdoings. Stand up for what's right, but be pure and sober in tongue and in speech, because what comes out of the mouth defiles the heart. So be not carnally minded, but spiritually minded. So, and what comes out of the mouth defiles the heart. So if you're, and to not be obscene with words, Ephesians 4:29, and to control your tongue, according to James 1:26. So therefore, all the more reason you should not say the XEX word, because that's gross and perverted. It's perversion. Well, perversion is a vague term. No, it's not. No, it's not. In meaning, it's like corruption. It's like corruption of the flesh. That's what it means. And I'd say inner bodily assault instead of that SEX stupid word. And you don't go joking around with that either. I'm not saying names. Well, actually, I'm saying names. Sarah has joked around that every once in a while, like, I've been sexually harassed. Like, you don't go joking like that. But I'm calling it out. Yeah, well, no. Because, well, you're sinning, actually, by being crude. Because, one, that's a perverted private act. It should be kept private and not talked about whatsoever. So, second, joking like that is violating Ephesians 4:29. So, you just sinned. You're sinning when you do that by biblical definition. So, never say that, because otherwise you're sinning. So, by biblical definition, so, yep, you have no excuse for that. And I won't be coerced to say it either. Same way with women's periods. I'm not gonna say I don't talk about it. That's personal woman stuff. I don't need to know about it. I don't need to learn it in life, okay? It's not gonna help me get a job. It's not gonna help me pass college. It's useless and perverted, and I don't need to hear that trash. That's reality. So, yep. And with that being said, I'm just gonna close it here. And next time on day 26.